A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry of the Circus. For Jerry of the Circus.
Well, Jerry, what are you doing here in the pad room? You've been right here in the same spot since the show started.
Oh, I thought I'd watch the show while I'm waiting for Bumps.
I see.
Golly, Jason, your act was sure swell today.
Well, I'm glad you like it. But that remark would lead me to believe that my act wasn't always swell.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. I mean it seemed more exciting.
I know what you mean, Jerry. And you're right. Sometimes the cats are a little more unruly and act up and roar more. And then I have to work harder, and it puts on a lot more thrill in the show.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Sure you did. But you didn't tell me why you were waiting for Bumps. You two got a business deal on?
Uh-huh. We're going to go back over to the hospital to see my Uncle Dan.
Oh, so that's it. I'm glad you found your uncle. I can guess how you felt when you found that Decker was Dan Dugan.
Yeah. Gee, isn't it funny? There I was in the wagon with him all the time, and I didn't even know Decker was my uncle.
It's funny, too, that he didn't recognize the name Dugan. It sure must be awful to lose your memory like that.
Uh-huh. And now he doesn't remember a thing about ever being with the circus. The last thing he remembers is years ago when he got back from a trip to South America.
Well, that's the way it is with amnesia. It's a bad sickness, Jerry.
I sure hope I never get it.
Well, you just have to watch your step. You know, it's usually caused by a blow in the head or a fall.
And that's the only way you can get over it, too, huh?
Well, as a rule, it takes another blow on the head to bring back the memory. Well, that's most likely what happened to your uncle. When he fell off the train, although the fall made him unconscious, the bump was great enough to bring his mind around okay.
Look, here comes Mr. Randall.
And in a hurry, too.
Say, Jason, you through with your act yet?
Why, yes, just came off a minute ago. What's the trouble, Mr. Randall?
Oh, hello, Jerry.
Hello, Mr. Randall.
Well, I just got a phone call from the chief of detectives, and they've got Lorenz.
What?
They picked him up in a little town about 100 miles from here early this morning, and they brought him here by airplane.
Oh, golly, that's... Well, maybe now we can get the whole story, and Uncle Dan won't be to blame for the robbery.
Let's hope so, Jerry. Jason, I've got to go right down to the police station. You want to come along?
You bet I do.
I want to come too, Mr. Randall.
Oh, no, Jerry. You stay in the lot. Jason will tell you all about it when he gets back.
But, Mr. Randall, I don't want my Uncle Dan to take the blame. Golly, I just found him, and now
Can't we take him along? He won't be in the way.
Well, I guess you are a little concerned now that Decker is your Uncle Dan. All right. Come along, Jerry, but let's hurry.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Randall.
I guess I'd better change out of this uniform. It'll only take a minute.
No, never mind that, Jason. You can come the way you are. Nobody will see you. We'll take a cab. There's usually one at the main gate.
What did the policeman say about Lorenz?
Well, I didn't get much over the phone, but it seems that Lorenz was buying a new suit of clothes in a little clothing store. And when he went to pay for the suit, he flashed a big roll of bills, and the clerk grew suspicious.
Well, that clerk was mighty alert, all right.
And it seems Lorenz wanted to wear the new suit, and while he was changing, the clerk called the police and then nabbed him.
There's a taxi, Jason.
A taxi? Taxi.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He got the signal. Well, I hope that police station isn't far. Police headquarters, driver. Central Station. Captain Reed.
Well, hello, Mr. Randall and Jason.
Hello, Captain.
This is Jerry Dugan, Captain.
Oh, hello, young man.
Hello.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Thanks. Did you get any more information out of Lorenz?
No, I didn't, Mr. Randall. I thought I'd wait until you got here to question him further. Excuse me, I'll send for him now. Have that man Lorenz in the felony ward sent into my office.
I hope we can get something out of him.
I think we will, Mr. Randall. We have a couple of methods that seem to work out quite well.
I hope we can get a full confession from Lorenz and some kind of a statement that will clear Decker, or rather Dan Dugan. This boy Jerry here is his nephew, and, well, he thinks pretty much of his uncle and doesn't like the idea of having him connected with this robbery.
Pretty loyal, aren't you, son?
Uncle Dan is my only relative, and we've been looking for him for so long, and...
Oh, now... I see. You didn't know he was your uncle while he was working in the circus with you, huh?
No, sir. I just found out when we went to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
Here's Lorenz, Captain.
Oh, fine. Stay right here with him, will you, Fred? All right, sit down, Lorenz.
Well, Lorenz, looks like you got yourself in a pretty fine mess.
Well, it is my affair. What is it to you? You got your money back, didn't you?
Now, Lorenz, that attitude isn't going to get you anywhere. Mr. Randall wants to ask you some questions. If you're smart, you'll answer them.
Well, I am not smart, or I wouldn't be here now. So I won't answer any questions.
Now, see here, Lorenz. We have several ways of making you talk. May not be so pleasant. We have to resort to them. Now, let's be sensible. You're already guilty of the robbery, and you're going to have to pay your debt to society. But if you cooperate a little, you'll find that the law is very fair.
What do you want to know? You've got me. What else?
Well, I'd like to know where you first met Decker.
What has that got to do with me?
Now, listen, Lorenz.
All right. I picked him up in a little restaurant about 5 years ago.
Well, he planned the robbery, didn't he?
He planned nothing. How could he plan? He is crazy.
Was he crazy when you met him?
Yes.
Where is he now?
I don't know.
He got on the train when you did, didn't he?
No.
He did, too.
Well, yes, he did.
And where'd he get off?
He jumped off. We had a fight.
You knocked him off.
No.
He wanted half of the money, and you had a fight about it.
No, he did not want any of the money.
What?
He wanted to go straight. He did not even want to pull the job in the first place.
Come on, Lorenz. Come clean with the whole story. It'll be a lot easier on you. Let's have it from the start now.
Well, I will tell you everything if you promise.
We make no promises, Lorenz, but you might just as well come clean.
All right. So I picked up Decker. That's the name I gave him.
What do you mean that's the name you gave him?
Now, he was crazy. He did not know who he was. I told him he was Decker. I told him he was wanted by the police. But I would look after him and he could work for me in my act.
Well, go on, Lorenz.
I held to that story about the police record and made him do as I wanted.
And he didn't want to do anything crooked?
No, he never did. He was always preaching to me.
You hear that, Jerry?
Uh-huh.
Right ahead, Lorenz.
When we were on the train making our getaway, he was telling me how sorry he was for this Jason here. Sorry we were planted a gun to make him look guilty. He said he wanted to split up with me and go straight if I only wouldn't turn him into the police.
And then what happened?
And I told him the truth. I told him he did not have a police record. Never did have. I told him his name was not Decker.
Yes?
He wanted to know who he was. He did not know. He got mad and was going to hit me.
And you hit him first?
Yeah, I did, and he fell off the platform of the train.
Well, there's the story you wanted, Mr. Randall.
Yes.
I guess that clears Decker, or Dan Dugan, as you'll be calling him from now on.
Then Uncle Dan can go free?
Yes, sir, son. As soon as the doctors are through with your uncle, he can walk out of the hospital a free man.
But what are you talking about?
Well, Lorenz, it seems that Decker is Jerry's uncle, Dan Dugan, the big game hunter. He's been suffering with amnesia, loss of memory, all these years that you've had him under your thumb.
And it might also interest you to know he was picked up on the railroad tracks after you knocked him off the train. He was pretty badly banged up, and it's only a miracle that he's alive today. It's mighty lucky he is alive, too, or I'm afraid it'd go pretty hard with you, Lorenz. All right, Fred, lock him up again.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Golly, how can a man be as mean as all that?
He's a pretty tough customer, all right. Guess he won't be so tough for the next 15 years or so, though.
Well, he'll be too old to ever work in the circus again when he gets out of jail. Looks like his life is finished. Well, thank you, Captain. I guess we made Jerry pretty happy. How about it, Jerry?
Golly, I'll say. Thanks, Captain.
It was a pleasure to be of service to you. Most of the time we try to prove men guilty around here, but this time we've proven your uncle innocent. And it's great to be able to render that kind of help.
Well, I guess we'd better be getting back to the circus. Don't forget to drop around and see our show, Captain, as my guest.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'll do that. And goodbye. Goodbye, Captain.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, and goodbye to you, young man.
So long.
Well, I guess we're through with the police for a while now.
Well, it's nice to get that over, all right.
Come along, Jerry.
Say, looks like we're in luck again. Here comes a cab. Taxi.
To the circus driver.
Yes, sir.
We'll be getting back before the show is over.
Well, Jerry, I guess you're pretty happy now, huh?
I sure am. Now I've really got an uncle, and he's not a crook either.
I told you it'd work out all right. Always does.
The only thing to think about now is getting Dan Dugan well and out of the hospital.
Oh, he'll come along all right. May take him a while to adjust himself to his new personality. Or rather, his old one, but he'll be as good as new in a short while.
Yeah, but he hasn't got any money and no place to go and no job or anything. What's he going to do?
I don't think we'll have to worry much about that, Jerry. I always did like Dugan, and although it looked pretty much like he was in on the payroll robbery, it was kind of hard for me to make myself believe it.
He'll most likely go back into his old business of big game hunting. He was tops in that field.
Well, until the time he feels he's ready to take up where he left off, I'll find a place for him in the circus.
You will? Aw, gee, Mr. Randall, that's your swell, and I sure thank you for it.
Yes, sir. We're not going to let your uncle down. I'll do all I can to help him regain his foothold in life.
Golly, I just don't know how to thank you, Mr. Randall.
Oh, forget it, Jerry. I should be thanking you.
Thanking me? For what?
Well, for finding the piece of that gun handle. That's what really started to clear up this whole mess. You're a good little detective, Jerry. You sure keep your eyes and ears open.
I like being a detective. It's fun.
Fun finding things out, Jerry?
Yeah, and clearing up mysteries.
Speaking of mysteries, Jerry, there's another mystery around the circus that needs clearing up.
There is. What is it?
Have you met Clara yet?
Clara?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Who is she?
She's the wardrobe lady. Takes care of all the costumes and does the sewing and repairs uniforms.
No, I haven't met her. Why?
Well, I just happen to remember. She told me there's been several spools of tinsel and a box of spangles taken from her workbench. She's also noticed that someone has been going through her box of supplies at night.
Gee, who could it be?
Well, I don't know, Jerry. That's something for you to find out. Now, you go look her up tomorrow and get her to tell you all about it. Tell her that I have assigned you to the case.
You bet I will, and I'll find out what it's all about, too. Just watch and see.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire.
far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, the Ray Bradbury story entitled, And the Moon Be Still as Bright.
The first 3 expeditions for Mars left Earth in a mushroom of flame, arced through the atmosphere, and finally dwindled to tiny specks in the big eye of the Mount Palomar telescope, and then were lost to sight forever. The prearranged landing signals flashed back to Earth, and then the radios went dead. One after the other, ships had disappeared and were never heard from again. But still the rockets came. The 4th expedition emerged from the silent gulfs of space, angled down toward the floating red disk of Mars, down into an orbit as the order came to land. The last blast of the bow jets broke red against the blue desert sands, and the ship slid to a halt at the edge of a vast city that reflected the icy glare of the moonlight. For a while, all was still.
All right, park you. Open the airlock.
Aye, sir. Fresh air. Hey, it's cold out here. Who cares? We got here. I thought I'd never hit solid ground again. Hey, how about a fire, Captain Wiley? It's freezing.
Later. We have work to do.
Oh, smell that air. Why, you could get drunk on it. Say, there's an idea. Why don't we break out a bottle and celebrate?
Biggs, there will be no drinking done until we're secured.
But we're landed, Captain.
3 other expeditions landed and disappeared within 24 hours. Now, we're not relaxing security till we find out what happened to them.
What do you mean, maybe Martians?
Sender, you're an archaeologist. How old would you say they are?
I can't tell till I study them more closely. It's a kind of engineering we couldn't duplicate on Earth.
Well, I'm not interested in the architecture now. I want to make sure there's nothing there that might be dangerous. Mr. Hathaway.
Yes, sir?
I want you and Spender to take a reconnaissance party into the city and find out what's there. We'll set up camp here. No man is to go more than 50 feet from this rocket. And there'll be no celebration till Hathaway and his party report back.
In the sea bottoms, the wind stirred along faint vapors, and from the mountains, great stone visages looked upon the silvery rocket and the small fire. The sky was black overhead, as the 2 racing moons threw knife-edged double shadows on the desert.
All right, come and get it. Ciao. Hey, what do you got these, Cherokee?
Sawdust, smothered in cold chicken fat.
Good. I thought it was something I couldn't eat. Hey, Captain. Mr. Hathaway's back.
Oh, Captain Wilder.
Oh, yes, over here, Mr. Hathaway.
Well? Most of the city's dead. Spender says it's been dead a good many thousand years, but we found one part about a mile over.
What about it?
People were living in it last week, sir.
People?
Martians.
Where are they now?
Dead. We found bodies, thousands of bodies. They hadn't been dead more than 10 days.
What did they die of?
You won't believe it. What killed them? Chicken pox.
Chicken pox?
Yes.
Where could they get chicken pox?
From Earth.
Oh, then the other rockets did get through.
Yes. I don't know what the Martians did to them, but I sure know what they did to the Martians. They gave them chicken pox and wiped them out. They just didn't have any resistance to an Earth disease.
Now, think of it, Captain. A race builds itself for 1 million years, refines itself, does everything it can to give itself respect and beauty, and then it dies. Of what?
It's like saying the Greeks died of mumps or the proud Roman Empire collapsed because of athlete's foot. We didn't even give them a decent excuse for dying. We just gave them chicken pox.
Spender, get hold of yourself.
You didn't see those bodies, Captain.
Yes, I know. It must have been a shock. You need a rest, a little relaxation. The Martians are dead. There's nothing you can do about that now.
Hey, you hear that? The Martians are all dead. Come on, let's break out a bottle and hold it out. How about a case, eh?
Oh, good Lord.
they have to do that now? Isn't there time later to throw old beer cans into the canals?
Bender, you're an idealist. They're not. All they know now is that they're safe. Little shouting won't hurt. You think too much.
I was safe on Mars. The first Earthmen on Mars. We're going to celebrate. Yahoo!
20 bottles were opened and drunk. The voices got louder. The earth laughs and shouts echoing across the empty Martian sands. Spender listened to the wind over his ears, cool and whispering. He felt the land getting cooler. The stars grew closer, very near. The air smelled clean and new. He looked at the cool ice of the white Martian buildings over there on the empty sea land.
Oh, what a woman! Hey, what do we do with these empty bottles? Save them, stupid. There's a 2-cent deposit. Throw them away. Hey, wait. How about that building? 2 to 1 on a buck. I can heave one right through that window. You're on. All right, here goes. Bullseye! Hey, double or nothing on the next shot.
Put that bottle down, Biggs.
Who's there, Mr. Spender?
Stop smashing those windows.
What's the difference? The planet's ours now. I guess I can do anything with it I want.
Drop that bottle or I'll knock your teeth out.
Yeah? Just watch me.
I warned you, Big.
Come on. What's going on here? Spender!
I hit him.
He's crazy, Captain. He just walked up and slugged me.
All right, Biggs. Spender, you come with me. Now, suppose you explain. What was the idea?
The noise, the drunken brawl.
Spender, the men are tired. This has been a long trip. And you have a different way of seeing things.
Oh, I'm seeing things all right. I'm seeing how we'll ruin Mars. We'll rip it up and rip the skin off the way we've already ruined Earth.
Is that why you hit Biggs?
Yes. I couldn't stand the idea of them watching us make fools of ourselves.
Them?
The Martians. They're dead. They're all dead. But they know we're here. Doesn't an old thing always know when a new thing comes? We've come a long way to smash their windows and spit in their wine.
Well, maybe you're right. But I'm still going to fine you $50 for that fight. Now, come on, Spender. Suck in your chin. We'll go back there and play happy.
Now they moved out into the moonlight across the desert. They made their way into the dreaming, dead city. The light of the racing twin moons glinted on the barrel of a pistol, the long blade of a machete, the round, gurgling shape of a raised bottle. The wind blew in from the Dead Sea bottom and brushed through the silvery wire filigree of the towers. Strange music drifted down to the double-shadowed streets, a thin, haunted music that played as it had played through the uncounted years of time. Nobody moved. The moons held and froze them. The wind beat slowly around them.
Biggs, I just want to make a little noise. What kind of a celebration is this, anyway?
Come on.
They built this city thousands of years ago. And now where are they? How did they die?
Who cares? They're dead. That's good enough for me.
Lord Byron.
What?
Lord Byron, a 19th century poet. He wrote a poem that fits this city. Might have been written by the last Martian poet. So we'll go no more a-roving so late into the night. Though the heart be still as loving, though the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul outwears its breast. And the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself must rest. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon.
Without a word, the Earthmen stood in the center of the city. It was a clear night. There was not a sound except the music of the wind. At their feet lay a tiled court, worked into the shapes of ancient animals and images. They stood there, silvered by the double moons beneath the crystal towers of Mars. And then Biggs was sick, and the sour stench of liquor filled the cool air. The men of Earth had come to Mars. And Spender turned and walked away into the city, alone in the moonlight, never once stopping to look back. It was a morning that might have been a Monday, or a Tuesday, or any day on Mars. Biggs was on the canal rim, his feet hung down in the cool water, soaking, while he took the sun in his face.
Hey, what are you doing back here, Biggs? Didn't you go out with the search party?
Yeah. I come back. I got a blister.
Oh, yeah. Here.
What do you mean? Look. Look, Cherokee, see that? Anyway, I had enough searching. 4 days hunting for that screwball Spender.
Didn't find him yet, huh?
Oh, good riddance. Oh, my feet. I'm going to soak them in the canal. If I was Wilder, I wouldn't worry about that nut Spender. Let him go. He's a cracked pot anyway.
He's a little foggy upstairs, I guess. Hey, why don't you take your feet out of that canal, Biggs? I got to make coffee out of that water.
Coffee? You call that stuff coffee? I had a motorcycle once that dripped grease that tasted better
than...
Hey,
wait a minute, Biggs. Hey, look over there.
Where?
By that bush. There's someone there.
Hey.
It's him. Hey, Spender!
Spender?
He's coming over.
Why didn't he stay lost, that crazy jerk?
Hi, Spender. Long time no see.
Hello, Cherokee. I've been exploring some ruins.
Oh, you and them ruins. You're like a dog in a boneyard. What's the matter? Why don't you just say something? Where you been?
Up in the hills. What would you say if I told you I found a Martian?
Oh, yeah?
Where?
Never mind. Let me ask you a question. How would you feel if you were a Martian and people came to your land and started to tear it up?
I know how I'd feel. I've got Cherokee blood in me. My grandfather told me a lot of things about the way they kicked the Indians around in the Oklahoma Territory. If there's any Martian around, I'm all for him.
How about you, Biggs?
They're dead. They're all dead. There's a good thing, too.
Well, I found a Martian. Up in a dead town in the hills. I've been reading their books, and they're easy to understand. And I've learned their language. And then I found this Martian. And I brought him here, now.
I don't see no Martian.
I'm the last Martian.
What did you say?
Biggs, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, cut it out. What kind of a lousy joke is that? Now, don't put that gun away. You're kidding, huh? Spender, you're...
He's dead. You killed him.
You can come with me, Cherokee. You're an Indian. You know how the Martians would feel. You can be with me in this.
You killed him. You just killed him.
He deserved it.
You're crazy.
Maybe I am. But you can come with me.
Come with you for what? Go on, get out of here, crazy murderer.
Of all of them, I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd remember what happened to your own people.
You get out of here, you crazy murdering. Don't reach for the gun. Spender.
Hathaway, break out the arms locker. Issue pistols, rifles, and grenades.
Yes, sir.
And you'd better get the Bible out of the navigation chest. We have to bury these two. Now, Parkhill, you start digging a grave.
How about Spender?
We'll have to go up in the hills and find him.
Just let me at him with my bare hands, a crazy murdering louse.
That's enough, Parkhill. Man is sick. He must be...
Sick my eye. He's
That's enough. Now grab a shovel and start digging.
Spender saw the thin dust rising in the valley, and he knew the pursuit was beginning. The sun burned farther up the sky, and the blue sand drifted lazily across the sea bottom below. He sat beside a quiet pool 10,000 years old and held the silver book. Through the house played the strange wind music of ancient Mars, and he heard voices
whisper in his mind.
I hear you. I've always heard you, even down there on Earth. No, I won't run. What's the use?
Live, Earthman.
Live? What for? To see them tear down your temples and put up hot dog stands?
Run.
They've seen me now. They know I'm up here. There's Wilder now. I've got him right in my sights.
Kill, Earthman. Kill.
Funny, he hasn't ordered them to use grenades. They could lob one right up here and blow me to bits. Maybe the captain thinks I'm too nice to be blown to bits. He wants my death to be clean. Just one bullet hole in me, nothing messy. And why? Because he understands me. The only one in the crew who ever did. Well, at least I can do the same for him. Just one bullet in his head, a nice clean death. All I have to do is pull the trigger and it's no use. I can't do it to him.
Spender! Can you hear me, Spender?
I hear you, Captain. What do you want?
Talk! Truce!
All right. Come on up. Leave your gun down there and keep your hands up.
That's quite a climb. You mind if I sit down? How long do you think you can hold out?
Until you're all dead.
Oh, why didn't you kill all of us this morning when you had the chance? You could have.
I know. I got sick. After I started killing people, I realized they were just fools and I shouldn't be killing them, but it was too late. So I came up here where I could get angry again.
Why did you do it?
When I was a kid, my folks took me to visit Mexico City. Now, always remember the way my father acted, loud and big. And my mother didn't like the people because she thought they didn't wash enough. I can see my mother and my father coming to Mars and acting the same way. Anything that's strange is no good to us. We aren't fit to take over this planet.
But to kill two men.
How would you feel if a Martian spit on the White House floor?
You know, you haven't acted very civilized yourself.
I'll kill you all off, Wilder. That'll delay the next rocket 5 years, and then I'll kill them, too. And if I'm lucky, I'll live to be 60. And I'll meet every expedition that lands on Mars. Oh, I'll be very friendly. I'll explain our rocket blew up one day. And then I'll kill them off. I'll save Mars for half a century. And by then, maybe the Earth people will give up.
And yet you're outnumbered. We already have you surrounded. In an hour, you will be dead.
I found an underground passage that'll take me back in the hills, Wilder. I'll go back there. And then I'll pick you off one by one.
We'll see. Well, it's a nice town you've got here, Spender. It's beautiful. I'd like to live here.
You can. Join me. You're not like them. Why go back to them, Captain? I'll show you what a good life these people had.
No, there's too much earth blood in me. I may even agree with you about all this, but that does not change what I must do.
You won't stay?
No. This is your last chance, Spender. Look, you're sick. Now come along with me quietly.
No. One last thing. If you win, do me a favor. Try to see that they don't tear this planet apart.
Right.
And if it helps, just think of me as a very crazy fellow who went berserk one summer day. Be easier on you that way.
Now, I'll think that over. So long, Spender.
Bye, Captain. Good luck.
The men spread out again, walking and then running on the hot hillside places where there would be sudden cool grottos that smelled of moss, and sudden open blasting places that smelled of sun or storm. The men ran and ducked and ran and squatted in the shadows.
I'll blow his brains!
Captain Wilder hugged the rock warmed by the sun. He gasped, for the air was thin and not meant for running. Spender lay at the top of the hill, and a gap in the rocks showed the white of his shirt against the shadows. Wilder looked at the towers of the little, clean Martian village, like sharply carved chess pieces lying in the afternoon. He saw the rocks, and the interval between, where Spender's chest was revealed.
Go on, Spender. Get out. You only got a few seconds to escape. Go on, get out of the caves. Come back later. You go now. I've got to win this. I've got to think that I'm right and pull this trigger. Go now. Get out.
I'll get him! A slug in the head, I'll blow his bloody brains!
No, Puck, you! Put down that gun. I'll do this myself.
Spender. Why didn't you get out? Why? Why? Why?
They buried him in that ancient valley town, where the music of the wind played on through the days and the nights. They laid him in an ancient silver sarcophagus with waxes and wines which were 10,000 years old, his hands folded on his chest. The last they saw of him was his peaceful face in the cold silver light of the racing twin moons. The captain found the poem in Spender's pocket, and he read it before he shut the marble door.
So we'll go no more a-roving so late into the night. Though the heart be still as loving, and the moon be still as bright. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon.
The next afternoon, Parkhill did some target practice in one of the dead cities, shooting out the crystal windows and blowing the tops off the fragile towers. Captain Wilder caught Parkhill and nearly knocked his teeth out.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you the Ray Bradbury story, And the Moon Be Still as Bright, adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were John Larkin, Clark Gordon, Dick Hamilton, Nelson Olmsted, Lawrence Kerr, and Stan Early. Your narrator was Norman Rose. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
14 years ago, Mrs. Patricia Gregory's yacht was wrecked in the South Seas. 14 years Mrs. Gregory has searched the world over in hopes she might find her little daughter Joan alive and well, though the world has always believed the child was lost in the shipwreck. Now the Gregory yacht, the Joan Gregory, is on the high seas, once more searching for little Joan. Captain Bradford is in charge of the cruise for Mrs. Gregory, and Jerry Hall, a young amateur radio operator from California, is with them. The yacht is 5 days out of Los Angeles, running through the South Seas. We find Mrs. Gregory, Captain Pex Bradford, and Jerry Hall in the chart room on the Joan Gregory.
Gee, but it's great to be really in the South Seas with you, Mrs. Gregory. Now that Captain Bradford has quit being suspicious of me.
You could hardly blame him, Jerry. We didn't know there was another radio in the country that would receive on that wavelength, much less transmit on it.
Oh, forget it, son. I guess you'll do.
I only hope we won't be disappointed. If we do locate this island, and if the little girl on it is... Oh, if she only could be my little Joan.
Now, Patricia, don't get too worked up over this story.
But this is the real thing. I know it is. Nobody would make up a story like that about your little girl. And look at the way those mysterious radio messages have kept coming in every day we've been at sea.
I know, Jerry, but people have made up some wild tales to try and get some of my money. You know, I've offered a big reward for news of Joan.
It's swell you named this yacht after her.
I've thought and prayed of nothing but Joan for 14 years. Now, I may be near her at last.
Well, if there's any truth in this story, we'll soon know it. We're about 4,000 miles from Los Angeles.
Are we getting close to the island?
We're getting close to the spot on the chart where the old sailor said the island was, if that means anything.
We've just got to find an island where he said it was.
But the chart shows there isn't an island anybody could live on within 100 miles of the position the old man gave.
Right, Jerry, and the chart is probably correct. We'll keep looking around. A lot of ocean in this vicinity. And if there is such an island...
Tex, you do think there's a chance, don't you?
Now, don't get your hopes up. There's always a chance of anything happening in the ocean. Come in. Come on in, Skipper. What's on your mind?
Radio.
What about the radio?
Message.
What about?
Sailor.
Let's have it quickly, Skipper. More news about the island?
No.
Come on, Skipper. Out with it. What about the old sailor?
Dead.
Dead?
Dead?
No more news, eh?
Nope.
That all there was to it?
Yep.
Then we know as much of as the old sailor will ever be able to tell us about his magic island and the little girl on it.
I'm afraid so, Mrs. Gregory. But if the old man told the truth about the position of the island, we can find it easy enough.
That all, Skipper?
Nope.
Got something on your mind?
Yep.
Let's have it.
Come.
Me?
You.
I'll be with you in a minute, Skipper. We've got a little work to do on this chart now.
Now.
Important?
Very.
Okay, you and Jerry work on that chart, Pat. I've got to go up on the bridge with the skipper.
Gee, Captain Bradford's sure a dandy fella, isn't he?
I think so, Jerry.
Uh-huh. I can see you do.
Why, Jerry.
Oh, I don't mind. It's all right with me.
Well, thank you, Jerry.
Oh, that's all right. Say, there's something I don't quite understand about this boat of yours.
Oh, yes?
That funny old guy that was just in here and won't say more than a word at a time, he's the skipper, isn't he?
Yes, and though he does have a peculiar way of speaking, he's the best yacht captain I've ever seen.
Oh, sure. Anybody can see he knows his business on the water. But what I mean is, well, you call him skipper and Captain Bradford captain. Now, all the boats I ever heard of, there was only one skipper, and he was the captain. Or only one captain, and he was the skipper. Or only one... Oh, now I'm all mixed up.
That's easy, Jerry. The skipper, Captain John Craig, is captain of my yacht. Captain Bradford's title is from the Army, and he acts as master and owner's representative when we're aboard the Joan Gregory. Anything else you'd like to know about me?
Well, gee, I don't mean to be rude, Mrs. Gregory, but you made me tell you all about myself, and you even had my dad come down to the dock and asked him a lot of questions.
So we did, Jerry. You must remember that you came to my house at midnight, a stranger. And surely you understand that in a case like this, we couldn't take any chances with you.
Well, I'm taking chances with you.
I never thought of it just that way, but perhaps you are, Jerry. Very well. Cross-examine.
Swell. Your house was a funny place, with a front door that took flashlight pictures of a fellow when he opened it.
I have a great many valuable things in my home.
Well, that part's all right. But how about the shortwave radio in your automobile? You know, it's against the law to have a shortwave set in your car, unless you're working for the government. Say, are you a G-man? No, I mean a G-lady?
I'm afraid I can't answer that, Jerry. At least not until we know you a little better. In the meantime, you can safely look to Captain Bradford for all your orders.
I'm glad to get that much of it straightened out, anyhow.
And now that you're satisfied as to my offices, we'd better study this chart as Tex told us to.
Oh, may I ask you just one more thing about your little girl?
Of course.
Well, nobody knows exactly what she looks like now. But I've been thinking about that picture you showed me of yourself. You know, taken when you were about the same age Joan is now. Don't you think she would most likely look like that picture?
Why, I suppose she might. Why do you ask?
Well, to tell you the truth, Mrs. Gregory, I've been hoping she would look exactly like that picture.
Uh-huh.
Then if she'll only grow up to be as pretty as you are now, well, it's kind of nice for a fella to know what his girl is going to look like when she gets older.
Jerry, you're way ahead of yourself, I'm afraid. Why, you're just 16 now, and Joan would be barely 15.
Well, 16's pretty old. I guess I know what I want. And when we find Joan, well, you see, I'll show you.
Jerry, you do help me a lot. I've been rather hopeless and doubtful about it all. You seem to be just taking it for granted that we're really going to find my little girl.
Well, I've got a hunch. And when I get a hunch, everything's going to come out slick.
Oh, Tex. What did the skipper say? What's wrong? The storm getting worse?
Sounded like it when you opened that door. But the boat isn't rolling any more than it was.
Well, Tex, what is it? You look so... Has something happened?
I don't think so yet. But if it hasn't happened, something is going to happen.
What?
The skipper took me up forward and showed me, well, things I'd never seen before.
Is the storm going to be a bad one?
Oh, that wouldn't make Tex act like this, Jerry. He's been through a lot of storms.
But this is different. This is one storm we can't go through.
What? Well, what do you mean, sir?
Just what I said, son. And if it doesn't make sense to you, then we're in the same boat.
Tell us what it is, Tex. Jerry and I aren't afraid. What's going on?
I've been standing up there on the bridge with the skipper for 10 minutes. The bow of this boat has been right up against what I'd call a heavy bank of fog, and there we stay.
Is the wind so high we can't make any headway?
Did you ever see a bank of fog stand? Stand perfectly still in that kind of a wind?
Tex, what are you getting at? A fog bank standing still in a gale. And the boat doesn't make any way?
No, you might as well come on deck, both of you. Then you won't think it's just me that's crazy. Come on. Now, come up forward and see it for yourself.
Golly whiskers! That's some squall, all right. And we're running right smack into the center of it.
I've seen lots of these. Let the skipper make everything fast, and we'll go below and ride it out.
You've never seen one of these. We've been right here with the prow of this craft hard against that fog bank for the last half an hour. And the engines are full speed ahead.
You mean that fog is holding us here just like a brick wall?
Why, that's impossible.
I guess if the storm was hard enough, we'd almost stand still.
We might, Jerry, but that isn't it. Even if that could be the case, wouldn't this fog move a little? Wouldn't the roll of the boat change? And look around you. Wouldn't the storm be going someplace?
Golly gee. You're right, Captain. Look, Mrs. Gregory. The ocean is as smooth as if it had oil on it. Everywhere except right in front of us. And the sky is clear. There is something funny about this.
What can it mean, Tex? I never heard of anything like this before. It's weird, uncanny. Just the smooth mountain of fog ahead. Dead ahead. We're on the edge of a roaring storm, and yet we can't be, for all's clear around us. The motors are nearly tearing the boat to pieces, yet we don't move. What is it, Tex? What is it?
Now, don't get excited, Mrs. Gregory. I guess nothing can happen that the skipper and Tex and I can't handle.
I'm not exactly afraid.
No, nor I, but I'd like it better if we could understand it.
Will you let me try something, Captain? I've got an idea.
That's one more idea than I've got. Go to it, son.
Well, signal the engine room for full speed astern, and let's see what happens. I never heard of a storm that you couldn't run into or out of or around or away from or something.
We'll try it, Jerry. Full speed astern it is.
Now they're coming. It's pulling hard astern now.
But we don't move. The yacht acts as if she was tied up by the bow. We don't move, Tex. We don't move.
Steady, Pat. Don't go to pieces. Well, Jerry?
That didn't do any good, did it? I give up.
There must be something to do. This can't be real.
Gee, that's funny. The storm stopped.
And the engines have stopped.
Everything has stopped. Why, there isn't a sound.
That fog is standing perfectly still and straight, like a gray cement wall. Only a little tiny piece of fog floating off into the still air. This is getting kind of spooky, isn't it?
There's something mighty wrong here. I don't like it.
But what can we do?
Yes, Skipper, what is it now?
Stopped.
What stopped?
Everything.
Generators? And everything in the engine room?
Everything.
I'll get on the radio and see what I can raise.
Stopped.
Well, we can run it from the batteries.
Dead.
Battery's dead, eh? Then every instrument on board is stopped. You stay here and stand watch, Skipper. Hold the crew ready. I've got an idea. Come back in the chart room, Pat. You too, Jerry.
All right.
What are you thinking of, Captain Bradford?
Look at this chart.
Oh, our position doesn't mean anything if the instruments are out of order.
But the instruments were all right just as we hit this thing, whatever it is. We haven't moved since. There. Right there is our exact position. Look at it.
Oh, I see it now. Look, Jerry, we're there. This is the spot.
Then our position is right. The old sailor said, yeah, the ship won't move. That bank of fog. Sure it is. It must be. This is the Magic Island.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Today, the Daily Planet's attack on the clan of the Fiery Cross has brought their vengeance down on Perry White, and the symbol of hatred burns again, this time at the door of the gray-haired editor.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. Say, you like to travel, don't you? Well, how about letting your imagination travel to Egypt tomorrow morning and have yourself a Pep Pyramid for breakfast? You know, that's this week's Pep Dish of the Week, named for the pyramids of Egypt and planned to give your appetite a real build-up. Here's how it goes. In the bottom of your bowl, pile up your serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, in the shape of a pyramid. Then at the foot of your Pep Pyramid, scatter some fruit, you know, like juicy red raspberries. Add milk and sugar, and there's your Pep Pyramid, the newest way to show you what Kellogg's Pep can do for fresh, ripe fruit. How Pep Sunshine flavor does rise and shine. How that sunny, golden toasted goodness does tickle your taste. Why, Kellogg's Pep is so good, you'll be busy eating until you've finished off every last bit in your bowl, which is the smart thing to do, especially nowadays when we're sending the cereal grains to fellows and girls overseas. Remember that when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Don't waste it. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. That's important, gang. Eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
And now, the adventures of Superman. On the clan of the Fiery Cross, a group of intolerant fanatics attacked a Chinese boy named Tommy Lee, star pitcher on Jimmy Olsen's Unity House baseball team. Only the prompt action of Superman saved the innocent boy's life. Furious, editor Perry White published a scathing editorial against the Klan in the Daily Planet and offered a $1,000 reward to anyone who could identify a single one of the robed and hooded bigots. That night, when White, Jimmy, and Clark Kent drove up to the editor's suburban home, they were startled to see a huge cross of fire burning on White's front lawn. Listen.
Great Scott. Look, Chief. Oh, gee whiz.
A burning cross.
That's the symbol of the Klan. It means those hate-mongers have selected you as their next victim, Chief.
Sleeping lizards, no, they can't.
Quick, we've got to call the fire department.
Well, don't bother. Someone's already done that. Come on, Chief, pull out of their way.
Well, good night. Good night, Mr. Pittman, and thanks for your offer, but we'll be all right.
Boy, I thought your neighbors would never leave, Chief.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, hasn't this been an exciting half hour?
Yes, and frightening, too.
Frightening? Huh. If this was meant to frighten me, it was a total waste of time.
Holy smokes, Chief. Don't you know what a burning cross means?
Why, sure I know. It's a warning for me to lay off the Klan. But I'll be hanged if I'll knuckle under to a bunch of ignorant cowards who hide behind hoods and sheets.
These men are dangerous. Granted they're cowardly, they're still dangerous while they remain anonymous.
And how? But look, what I can't figure out, Mr. Kent, is why they're picking on Mr. White. He's no foreigner, and his skin's not...
The reason's obvious, Jim.
You mean it's because of my editorial telling of the rotten history of the Klan and pointing out the un-American bigotry they stand for?
Exactly.
Well, they won't make me shut up. I'll keep after them until they're brought out into the open and...
Sure, I know you will, Chief, but you must take precautions. I can't watch over you every minute.
You?
I mean, we. That is, I'm sure Inspector Henderson will assign a couple of plainclothesmen, but even
Not to me, he won't. I'm not going to let those scoundrels think I'm scared of them.
Oh, but look, Chief.
I think Mr. Kent is right.
I don't care what you think, or Kent either. The Klan is going to find out that I mean business, and that they can't scare me with their mumbo-jumbo and burning crosses.
But you
Now,
can't...
no more arguments. First, we'll have something to eat, and then we'll go to work. Pogo.
Say, that's strange. Poco isn't here, Chief.
Well, of course he's here. Pogo!
Oh, I tell you, he isn't here.
And I tell you he is. I talked to him just before we left the office. Told him to have some supper ready for us. But, Pogo! Where are you, you lazy beggar? He's not in the kitchen. Pogo!
Well, maybe he's in his room, Mr. White.
No, he isn't there either.
Oh, how do you know he isn't, Mr. Kent? You can't see from here.
Oh, no. Well, I've just got a feeling he isn't.
Funny, he's not in his room either. And he didn't finish preparing supper. The stuff's spread all around the kitchen and the refrigerator is open.
Hey, I don't like this.
Hey, maybe he got scared by the burning cross and went upstairs.
No, I tell you, he isn't.
Sure, that's probably what happened. He's probably under my bed scared to death. Come on, we'll go up and get him.
No, don't bother. He isn't upstairs, Chief.
And are you trying to tell me that you can look through the ceiling like Superman?
No, but I tell you, he... Great Scott.
Huh?
Well, what's the matter?
The garage. Come on, follow me. See? There's Poco, Chief.
Where?
Over there, lying in the corner of the garage.
Jeepers. What's the matter with him? Poco.
I can't hear you, Jim. He's unconscious.
Unconscious?
Yeah. Poor little fellow.
What happened to him?
Wait, let's have a look. I'll turn him over.
Is he alive?
Yes, but...
Gosh, look at his face. All cut up and...
Good heavens. Poor chap must have been in an accident.
I don't think it was an accident, Chief. I think Poco was beaten up.
Beaten?
Oh, who'd want to beat up poor little Poco, Mr. Kent? Why, he never hurt a fly.
Tommy Lee and his father never hurt anyone either, Jim.
Tommy Lee and his father? You mean...
The Fiery Cross gang?
Yes. Unless I miss my guess, our friends in the hoods and sheets did this dirty piece of work.
The rats. The dirty rats.
Jim, you run ahead and get the first aid kit out, will you? I'll carry Poco into the house. Hurry. Take it easy now. Drink a little more water, Poco. Easy. There. How do you feel now?
Oh, woe is me. Such misery.
Do you hurt very much, Poco?
My body, Jim, is a mass of pain. I'm sure I'll never walk again.
Oh, you'll walk all right. Why, yes, of course you will. Who did this to you, Poco?
Some terrible men who sneaked out of the night. Oh, dear. They gave me such a fright. Each wore a sheet and a hood over his head, like ghosts who came back from the dead.
They weren't ghosts, Poco. They were the clan of the Fiery Cross.
The scoundrels. Now, what happened, Poco? Why did they beat you up?
They were burning a cross upon our lawn. I was frightened, but I told them to be gone. They struck me down and kicked me, too. That's all I recall till I saw you. Except they said...
Why, the dirty...
Just a moment, Jim. What did they say, Poco?
I'm so hurt and so sore. I can hardly talk anymore.
Well, just try to tell us what they said, Poco.
They said, tell White we'll get him, too. Unless he lays off us in his newspaper.
Oh, said they get me, eh? Well, we'll see who gets whom. If they think they can shut me up by burning a cross on my lawn, by beating up poor Poco, well, just wait till they see the Daily Planet tomorrow.
Oh, shoot, Will. For midnight. What are you jumpy about, Frank? The latest story in the Daily Planet raising the reward for us to $5,000? Yeah, that's a lot of dough, Will. Somebody might get tempted to take a chance and spill on us. Then what? That's why I'm here. Matt Riggs says for you to be ready for action at 6 o'clock tonight. You got that? Yeah. What's going to happen? You'll find out tonight. Be ready for action at 6.
Glad you dropped in, Will. I want to ask you about the new story in the Planet about us. Head of the White raised the reward to $5,000.
I know all about it, George. That's why I'm here. Matt Riggs says for you to be ready for action at 6 o'clock tonight.
At 6, huh? What are we going to do?
You'll find out tonight. Just be ready for action at 6 o'clock.
I'm glad you showed up, Will. Look, you tell Matt we got to do something about that lousy Daily Planet.
He's way ahead of you, Hank. We're going to take care of that tonight.
Yeah, that's what Matt said last night, but the Burning Cross didn't shut White's big mouth. He's raising such a fuss, every cop in Metropolis is looking for us.
We know, but don't worry. He won't raise any more fuss after tonight, Hank. I'll guarantee you that. You just be ready for action at 6 o'clock. This is going to be the works.
Going from one clansman to another, Will Jennings, the mouthpiece for Matt Riggs, Grand Scorpion of the clan of the Fiery Cross, gives the order to stand by for action tonight. What will happen? We'll know in just a moment. So stand by for the tense climax of today's episode.
You know, gang, if every home in the country could be wired for sound, you'd hear a big chorus of compliments come breakfast time from thousands and thousands of homes where Kellogg's Pep heads the menu. Sure, things like, gee, Mom, this is a nifty treat, or, boy, is this super, because Kellogg's Pep is that kind of a dish. You know, Pep is called the Sunshine Cereal. It's loaded to the brim with sunshine flavor, a golden toasted flavor that gets your appetite wide awake in a jiffy. And Pep is crunchy, too, tender and crisp as can be. Not to mention the fact that Kellogg's Pep is good for you. Sure, gives you solid whole wheat nourishment plus. Yes, sir, that's how Pep stacks up. It's so delicious, you keep right on eating until you've polished off your bowl clean as a whistle. And you know, gang, it's extra important nowadays not to waste cereal, because the cereal grains have been picked out to help give good nourishment to fellows and girls all over the world. So when Mother brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make sure there's no waste at your house. Pass the word along to the rest of your family, too. It's the right idea to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
At 6:15 that same evening, Daily Planet editor Perry White impatiently drums his fingers on the desk in his office, then rises to his feet.
Come on, Olson. We're going home.
Going home? But you promised to wait for Mr. Kent.
I know, but he said he'd be here at 6, and it's 6:15 now. Our editorial said for anyone wanting to give information about the Klan after 6 o'clock to call me at home, so we'd better get going. I don't want to risk missing a call.
Oh, but Mr. Kent said for you not to leave the office without him.
Mr. Kent said. Is he running this newspaper, or am I?
Well, you are, I guess, but
You guess?
Well, sure, of course you are. But Mr. Kent said you were in danger, not to leave until he got here. He said he might be a little later than 6, but he said...
If you don't stop that he said stuff,
Come on now, look, Chief.
Quiet. What do you and Kent think I am, a babe in arms?
No,
but... Nothing. Klan wouldn't dare lay a finger on me. They were just trying to scare me into turning off the heat on them.
I don't know about that. I think...
Well, I do know. Well, get your hat and come along.
Mr. Kent's going to be awful sore when he gets to the planet and finds you gone, Mr. White.
Yeah, I'm shuddering in my boots. Do you think he'll fire me?
I don't think it's any joking matter. Those Fiery Cross Clan guys are bad actors.
What's that fool blowing his horn for?
I don't know. Maybe you better pull over, Mr. White. Looks like he wants to pass us.
Well, let him. I'm doing 35. That's the legal speed limit on this highway. And I'm on my side of the road.
Here he comes.
Hey, get over there. What are you trying to do?
It's a truck.
I don't care what it is. He's starting us off the road. Hey, watch out!
Look out, Mr. White. You're going off the road. Oh, that was too close.
That stupid truck driver deliberately crowded us off the road, almost sent us into the ditch. Believe me, I'll tell him a thing or two.
Hey, wait, Chief. Look.
I'm waiting for nothing. I'm going to...
Holy smokes. Look. Those men jumping out of the truck. They're wearing sheets and hoods.
Good Godfrey. They're the Klan of the Fiery Cross.
Their blood suddenly running cold, Jimmy Olsen and Perry White sit rigidly in their car as some 20 robed and hooded men leap from the truck and run threateningly toward them. What will happen to gray-haired Editor White and his young reporter, with Superman unaware that they are now trapped by the hate-mongering bigots of the Klan of the Fiery Cross? There's much excitement ahead, so don't miss tomorrow's thrilling episode, gang. Tune in, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. Say, if you want your dog to tag right along with the gang, if you want him to be strong and husky, don't let him eat just to fill up. Mix his scraps of meat and fat in with Kellogg's Grow Pup dog food. Then just see if you don't get congratulations on what a fine dog you have. Grow Pup has what it takes to help keep a dog hitting on all fours, and it's full of swell, meaty flavor dogs like. Besides, there are 3 different kinds of Grow Pup. Grow Pup Ribbon, Grow Pup Meal, and Grow Pup Pellets. Ask Mother to start feeding your dog Kellogg's Grow Pup today. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are kneeling in the church of a Caribbean village, seeking the sanctuary it might offer, while slowly, walking down the aisle, carefully studying each bowed head, is the brute of a man who has come to kill you.
Listen now as Escape brings you Les Crutchfield's story, Violent Night.
I came awake suddenly. Wide awake. It's a trick, you learn, around the back countries of the Caribbean. If you want to stay alive. I didn't move. I didn't make a sound. Just stared into the darkness and listened. And then it came again. Somebody was on the veranda. I slid off the cot, reached for my pistol on the table, and stood up. Barefooted, I moved quietly across the room and stopped by the shutters.
Senor Gravy.
Who is it?
Pepita. It is Pepita.
Pepita?
I am come to warn you of terrible danger.
Are you alone?
Si.
All right, wait a second.
Quickly.
What's wrong? What's the matter?
Look, toward the village, toward Monte Miguel.
What? What? Fire. What's burning?
The estacion of the police, the Federalista army barrack, other places. It is a revolution, senor.
Revolution? Oh, who is it? Who's behind it?
Alacran.
What?
He has come out of the jungle again. 1,000 men are follow him, and now more from the village. He has guns, trucks, cars, radios. He is called himself governor of the district.
Governor? He won't last 48 hours.
Everyone say it is revolution all over the country. You must leave your plantation and go quickly.
Pepita, you think he still remembers?
Alacran will never forget. Not ever. Not before one of you is dead.
Yeah, maybe you're right. All right, thanks, Pepita. Thanks for everything. Ten minutes later, I lay hidden in a clump of bamboo by the irrigation ditch, 30 yards from my house, watching a convoy of army trucks swing in from the highway and roar up the road toward the plantation. I could have struck out then, run away, but I had to know the odds, know whether Alacran was making it personal, whether he still remembered. The truck skidded to a stop. Men with rifles piled out, circled the house. Spotlights cut through the night, lit up my bungalow, probing at the shutters. But I didn't see him until he stepped into the circle of lights and called out.
Mr. O'Grady? Mr. Barry O'Grady.
Alacran.
You're wasting our time, Mr. O'Grady. You may as well come out.
Educated in the States, but as cunning and cruel as the wildest Indian in the bush.
Are you afraid of me, Mr. O'Grady? Are you afraid to come out and greet an old friend who has not forgotten you for a minute?
Alacran, leader of a revolution, self-styled governor of the district. And he'd taken time out to lead this raid personally. Yes, Pepito was right. He hadn't forgotten. He blasted the bolt off my door with a Tommy gun, and then with a half a dozen of his men, he plunged into the house. It was time to get out. I'd wanted to know the odds, And now I knew them. I didn't have a chance. I ran for nearly 2 miles, through my coffee groves, along the banks of the ditches, through the patches of bush, before I finally played out. I was beside a narrow road leading back into the hills. I dropped down to the edge of it and tried to get my wind back. Helicron. For 2 years he'd waited, and now he was coming after me. He'd been trying to start a revolt then. I'd dragged him away from my workmen, taken his gun away from him, and beaten him to a pulp. And now he was back in control of the whole district, with a wolf pack at his heels. And then suddenly I noticed the headlights of a car coming down the road from the hills. The lights were too close together and too low to the ground for an army truck. There were ranches up in the hills, resorts. It might be a private car. It was worth a chance. I worked feverishly. The car was close now and moving fast. I gave it an armful of brush, threw it into the road, struck a match, and set fire to it. And then I dropped down in the ditch and waited. All right, easy now. Don't move.
Who are you? What do you want?
I want your car.
No, it is impossible. Let me go.
Oh, no, you don't. Let go of that.
Stop it. Stop it. You're hurting me. Take your hands off.
Thanks. Well, that's a lot of gun for a lady. Well, we'll take care of that.
You fool. Do you know who I am?
No.
I am the daughter of the governor of this district.
You're what?
It's true. I am the daughter.
I'd heard he had a daughter, but who'd ever expect that fat pig to have one that looks like you?
I promise you, senor. If you go on with this, I will see that you are shot against a wall.
You're too late. Your father already has that idea. Or more likely a worse one. You know, I think you're going to come in awfully handy before morning.
If you think
What do I call you? What's your name?
Maria.
All right, Maria, let's get this straight. I got 1 chance in 1,000 of staying alive, and if I can help that chance, I'll do anything. You understand?
No, please.
Now, we're going to get out of here. We're going to get out together, whatever happens. Your father gets me, and I get you. All right, now get the car started. We came off the side road 2 miles from Monte Miguel, crossed the main highway, and took the old road toward San Vicente. It was 110 miles to the capital. If the sports car was fast, it could outrun any army vehicle Alcatran's men might have. And there was a good chance he hadn't yet blockaded the San Vicente highway. Well, it was a good dream. It lasted for 2 miles. Then it popped like a soap bubble.
In the road ahead, senor. Lights, trucks, men moving. What do you want me to do?
Brakes. Hit the brakes. Come on. And get this thing turned around and make it fast. Amigos.
Vengan por acá.
See? All right, come on. Step on it. Let's get out of here. Come on. Faster. Well, that was close. Plenty close. Well, we're still lucky. We could have barged straight into that. Now, they blocked us, but at least they didn't get us. And we still got a chance of circling back. What's wrong? What is it?
I don't know. I'm not doing anything.
Yo, wait a minute. Yeah, I can smell it. The bullet must have smashed open the gas tank.
We're out of petrol?
Yeah. Get it over to the side.
Right.
No farther. Clear over to the canal bank. The irrigation ditch. Go on. All right. Come on, get out. Come on, hurry.
What are we going to do?
Here, give me a hand. We're going to get it rolling. Come on. Into the ditch. All right, come on, let's go.
Hey, what do you mean?
They'll be along here any second. Find where we sank the car. Come after us. We don't have much time. Now, come on, let's get across that ditch.
In the water? No. I will not do it. I will not go into the water.
Oh, you won't, huh? All right.
Put me down. Stop.
Hold your breath. Now, just take it easy. Quit fighting and relax, will you? I'll get you across. It's only 20 feet wide. All right, easy now. All right, here we go. Now, grab the back.
Oh, if it takes me all my life, I'm going to kill you.
Maybe not. I might have to kill you first. Now, come on.
I am not going into that jungle with you. No matter what you do to me, I am not going.
Come on, move. Alacron had outmaneuvered me, outflanked me. There was no use trying to break south toward the capital. He had the whole area sewed up. So I decided on a gamble. I'd turn back, head for the last place on earth he'd look for me. The village of Monte Miguel itself. It was nearly midnight when we entered the village. I kept a tight grip on Maria's arm and hurried her through the back streets and alleys, heading toward Pepita's room on the other side of town. Though we didn't make it, a patrol of rebels came around the corner and moved toward us. We couldn't turn and run. We couldn't go on. We were trapped. But we'd stopped in front of a house built flush against the street. The door was only a few feet away. I stepped over and tried it. It was unlocked. I drew my gun and pushed the door open. All right, come on. There's no one in. Inside, quick.
What are you going to do?
Wait for the patrol to pass. Now be quiet. Here they come. Not a sound, Marie. Shh. Quiet. Oh, that was lucky. Well, double lucky, in fact. Now, the head man here has gone out and left some clothes all ready for me. Pantalones, camisa, sarape, sombrero. Now, if we can find something for you...
What do you mean?
Well, dressed like we are, we don't have a chance. Here. Here, this ought to do it. Catch you. Now, here's a shawl for you. You can throw it over your head and keep it around your face.
If you think I am going to change my clothes...
Get behind that curtain and do it any way you want, but get into that dress and do it fast. In a few minutes, we were back into the marketplace, walking rapidly. And then as we passed the great doors of the church, I froze in my tracks. Alacron. He was lounging in the back of a touring car, fat and evil. Here, this way.
Where?
Into the church. If he sees me, we're finished. Slow and solemn now. All right, up the steps. And keep your head down. Awed, half scared the way the villagers go in. All right. Up toward the front. Hurry. All right, in here. All right, this is far enough. Now kneel down. Well, we're safe for the moment, but
Padre, if you please.
Don't move, Maria. Don't cry out. The gun's pressed against your side. Keep your head down and pretend you're praying. Better yet, really pray.
You are listening to Violent Night, tonight's presentation on Escape. Next Monday night on CBS Radio, Ronald Reagan stars in the Lux Radio Theater adaptation of Carbine Williams with Wendell Corey and Gene Hagen in their original screen roles. Next Monday night, when you will also want to hear Tyrone Power in Suspense's production, The Guilty Always Run. And now, Escape and the second act of Violent Night.
The padre, white-haired and old, knelt at the altar and went on with his prayer, not hearing the summons from the back of the church. Some of the kneeling villagers turned to look and then turned back quickly. Beneath my serape, I kept the gun pressed tight against Maria's side.
Padre!
Alecran was walking up the aisle toward the front of the church, moving slowly and deliberately, stopping to glance along each row and study the kneeling worshippers.
You cannot come here with arms, my son. This is a place of peace.
Oh, and I am a very peaceful man, Padre, as long as I am not denied the things I want.
What is it you want?
A man. I am told he has some woman with him. They may have come in here. I will only need a moment more to finish checking your followers.
No, I cannot permit that.
Padre, you know who I am. Now, we can be friends or we can be enemies, as you choose. Of course, burning a church is not to my liking.
Go. Wait outside if you wish. I am on the point of dismissing the congregation. You may watch them as they leave.
All right. You're clever at compromise, Padre. I'm sure we will learn to understand each other. Adios.
La misa está terminada. That is all, my children. Vayan con Dios. My son.
What is it, Padre?
This way. Follow me, both of you. Come quickly.
Come on, Maria.
Yes.
In here.
You're taking a big chance, Padre. If he finds out you're in trouble.
You have heard of sanctuary, my son? The sanctuary of the church?
Yes, of course.
Unfortunately, I cannot assure you that sanctuary, but perhaps I can help you in some small way to find your own sanctuary.
Thank you, Padre.
In a few minutes, when everyone has gone, he will be certain. Who is it?
Lalacran.
One moment.
I am informed that you're hiding a man and woman from the congregation. Open this door.
Have patience.
Now.
Here, behind the desk, there is a way out. All right. Go now, both of you, quickly. The passage opens on an alleyway behind the church.
Open now.
Hurry, my children.
Thank you, Padre.
Que vayan con Dios.
When we came into the open alleyway, we were on the very edge of the village, on a crooked path that ran between the walls and backs of the buildings on one side and the dark, dense mass of the Valle Diablo jungle on the other. But for a moment, we were safe.
Barry.
What?
Back there. In the church. Would you really have killed me?
Look, I'd hate to do anything to hurt you. But if I have to, I will.
Why do you hate me so much?
Hate you? I don't hate you. Why should I hate you? You're my ace in the hole. I've got nothing against you personally. You just picked the wrong man for a father, that's all. Wait, hold it.
Barry, don't shoot. He's only a child.
Yes, it's only a child, but he knows who we are. And you'll have the whole town out here in 2 minutes. There's no choice left. Now, come on.
Barry, what are you doing? Where are we going?
Into the jungle. Into the Valle Diablo. Yes.
I got to rest. I can't go on much farther.
All right, Maria. We'll slow down and take it easier. I don't think he's going to find us now. I think maybe we got a chance.
Can't we stop, Barry?
No, in 10 minutes we wouldn't be able to move again. Now the sky's beginning to lighten. It'll be dawn in less than an hour. He can't chase us forever. He's got a revolution on his hands.
Barry, it's all been so strange. Like a nightmare. All mixed up. I hated you at first.
Oh, forget it.
I didn't know who you were, what you were doing to me. And finally, I began to understand. I don't hate you anymore, Barry.
Good, Maria. It works out better that way.
In fact, I'm afraid I like you very much.
What? Afraid?
Yes.
Maria, we'll be out of this before long. And Wait.
What is it, Barry?
Those are dogs.
What?
Yeah, they're trailing us with dogs. No matter where we go now, they'll find us.
Oh, Barry!
Come on, Maria. And we ran again, down the twisting jungle trail, on and on, knowing while we ran that there was no way out, no way of escape. And then suddenly we burst out into a clearing and stopped in our tracks. For ahead of us, dark and ancient, its stones worn by tropic rains, grown over with lichen and moss, was a Mayan pyramid, built by men dead for centuries, lost and forgotten in the Valle Diablo. We broke into a run, crossed the clearing.
We are going inside, Barry?
Oh, why not? What have we got to lose?
Nothing at all, Mr. O'Grady.
Hollycrot. All right, inside, quick, Marie.
Excellent. Right into the trap, just as I hoped.
He's behind us somewhere.
At the edge of the clearing.
I've been here for some time, you know. Waiting for my beaters to drive you out of the brush. Oh, always predictable, Mr. O'Grady. One knows precisely what you are going to do before you do it.
Alekron, listen to me. I've got Maria with me.
Oh, I recognize her at once.
Then listen. Before I let you take me, I'll kill her. Do you understand?
That's entirely up to you, Mr. O'Grady. First you fire at my voice and me. Then an empty gun. Embarrassing, isn't it, Mr. O'Grady? Now my fun begins.
Come on, Maria, back inside, quick. Well, I'm out of cartridges. All we can do now is run. Run as far and as long as we can.
And then what, Barry? Will you kill me, as you told him you would?
You know better. I thought the threat would hold him off, but it didn't. You heard him.
Yes. I heard him. It is not a surprise, Barry. My father has hated me for years. I did not come in handy like you hoped.
Where are you, Mr. O'Grady? Are you scared now? Running?
Maria, keep moving as quiet as possible.
Maybe you need something to help you run, Mr. O'Grady.
He's got a machine pistol. Hurry.
I cannot go so quickly.
What are you afraid of, Mr. O'Grady? You're not afraid that day at the plantation. Is this what bothers you, perhaps?
It's no use, Barry. It's no use.
Maria, wait. There's a ledge right above us here. I can feel it when I reach up. Broken boulders. Now, there's a chance. Now, listen to me, Maria. You go on alone.
Oh.
Make a noise. Talk so that he'll think that we're still together. Do you understand? I'm going to wait for him here. Right up on that ledge. All right, now go on.
All right.
Go on.
But, oh, be careful. Be very careful.
I scrambled up on the ledge and got set. And I felt around in the dark and found a rock as big as a man's head. And then I waited.
You're tiring yourself for nothing, Mr. O'Grady. There's only one way out, you know. This way.
I raised the rock and waited. He was close now, very close. I listened to his steps, trying to judge his position by the sound.
You're not being very friendly, Mr. O'Grady, and I feel very warm for you.
He was right below me. I raised the rock and smashed it down on his head. It's all right, Maria. It's all over.
Sorry.
Maria. 2 weeks in that stinking jail, and now you drag me out and bring me down here to the harbor. Why, Captain?
This way, Senor O'Grady.
All right, so you won the revolution. Now you're the new government. All right, fine. I got nothing against you. My fight with Alecran was personal. You know that.
Quite true, Senor O'Grady. I know that. However, Alecran was one of our leaders. You killed him. The usual sentence is death by a firing squad.
I know that, Captain.
Instead, we are permitting you to leave the country. The launch is waiting to take you out to the ship. You should consider yourself very fortunate, Senor O'Grady.
Captain, look. There was a girl, Maria, Alecran's daughter. Where is Maria?
I believe you're speaking of my wife, Senor.
Your wife?
You're escaping a death sentence, Senor. But I must warn you that if you ever return to the Republic, that sentence will be carried out.
Your wife?
Maria and I were married yesterday at the Church of Santa Isabel. As a wedding gift to Maria, I gave her your life. Your ship is waiting, Senor O'Grady. Adios.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you Violent Night by Les Crutchfield, starring William Conrad and Joyce McCluskey. Featured in the cast were Don Diamond, Ben Wright, and Edgar Barrier, with Michael Ann Barrett, Byron Kane, and Richard Beals. Your announcer, George Walsh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are standing in a lonely forest clearing. The dawn turned gray by the creeping fog. While standing only yards from you, his eyes filled with his hate for you, is a man who's come to take your life. Unless you first take his.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Alexander Dumas' classic story, The Second Shot. Rich in comedy, rich in human interest, rich in novelty. That's Rich, starring Stan Freberg, Friday nights on CBS Radio. It's the lively, refreshing Stars Address situation comedy called That's Rich, which it certainly is, every Friday night on most of these stations. Just you make a date, tie a little string around your favorite chair so you'll remember to listen, and laugh with That's Rich. Friday nights, too, enjoy a full hour Arthur Godfrey Digest on the CBS Radio Network.
Instant Ralston and regular Ralston, the hot whole wheat cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have entered a warehouse on the planet Venus to rescue an abducted explorer. As they creep up a flight of stairs, two criminals lurk above them behind a huge barrel.
The top of the stairs.
Get your hands up. We're Space Patrolmen.
Come up and get us.
Come on, Happy.
Let's get the barrel, Paris. Roll it down.
Hey,
Commander, look out!
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, the Venus Tulania Mystery. Hey, look, there's the moon, and there's Saturn with the rings around it. And here's Terra, the man-made planet. Oh, hi, Space Patrollers. This is Captain Dick Tufeld. I bet you think I'm spotting stars through a telescope. Well, nope, I'm just counting up my interplanetary space coins. The slick-looking coins you get in every package of the wonderful hot whole wheat power cereal, Good Hot Ralston, instant or regular. Say, have you started collecting the sensational space coins yet? Well, you better start now because they're lots of fun. And say, are you starting your day off with a good breakfast? A power breakfast with Good Hot Ralston? The cereal that warms you up and builds you up? The cereal that has a flavor that you just can't beat? Well, gang, no other cereal gives you so much power, yet tastes so good. That's why Commander Corey made Good Hot Ralston the official hot cereal of the Space Patrol. So be real Space Patrollers. Every morning, eat Good Hot Ralston, instant or regular. And remember, Good Hot Ralston comes in new packages now, with a picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the front and a swell interplanetary space coin inside. And now, for today's Space Patrol adventure, the Venus Tulanium Mystery. In Commander Corey's central office at Space Patrol headquarters on Terra, Cadet Happy is so absorbed in looking at designs for a new spaceship, he isn't aware that Buzz has entered and is standing beside him at the desk.
Been rocket.
Think it'll get off the ground, Happy?
Will it? Why, it's the slickest... Gee, man, I didn't hear you come in.
Well, that's all right. I left them out because I thought you'd be interested. Oh, by the way, I had to call off the demonstration of the new type spacesuit for this afternoon.
Hmm? What happened, sir?
Got a message from an old friend of mine, Frank Michelson.
Oh, isn't he the former Space Patrol agent that became an explorer?
Well, that's the one. There have been some rumors around that Michelson found a big uranium deposit on Venus. Apparently it's true.
Uranium? Say, if it's any kind of a strike at all, Michelson can take it easy the rest of his life.
Well, Frank Michelson wouldn't take it easy if he was the richest man in the universe. His message wasn't very informative, but I gather that he expects a little trouble.
Over uranium?
I would be surprised. It's rare enough to make a lot of people willing to take chances to get their hands on it. Well, we'll know the whole story when Frank gets here. He's due at 1500.
Meantime, in his room at the Terra Space Hotel, Frank Michelson dictates some correspondence into a tiny micro-tape recorder, a machine that's almost entirely engulfed in his huge hand.
Red Brinkerhoff, President, Interplanet Mining Company, Mercury City. Dear Ed, in view of recent developments, I suggest that we postpone further action until I consult Commander Corey. I'll be on Mercury in about 5 days to explain fully the reasons for the suggested delay. Come in. Yes, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
We just want to talk to you, Michelson. Talk about that.
Sure. Sit down, won't you?
We'll stand, thank you. And, Mr. Michelson, I wouldn't go reaching in that drawer for a gun if I were you. Mr. Parrish here has a blast gun, and I have something almost to the same.
I gather you're Jake Zalabon.
That's right. Coming with it.
Is that so?
All right, Michelson, get up. Now, don't try anything like that again.
I think this will take the fight out of you, Michelson. Hold still. Nothing to worry about, Michelson. Just an electro-injection of cortisol. You'll be able to walk and talk, but you'll be incapable of offering resistance. You'll be nice and peaceable. Cortisol inhibits all traces of anger. Now stand up. Stand up, Michelson.
What are you going to do with me, Zalabon?
You'll accompany Parrish and me to Karazhan in the Venus jungle. I have a hunch the uranium deposits aren't too far away. You passed through Karazhan a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we can work on you there without any interruptions. Nobody will ever come prowling around that old warehouse at the end of Meridian Street.
Now, come along, Michelson. You're going to walk quietly between us. Take us other arm, Parrish.
Okay. Hey, he's peaceful as a lamb.
For his own good, he'd better remain.
Any word from Mr. Michelson, Commander?
Not a thing, Happy. I can't reach him at the Space Hotel. Clerk says nobody answers the phone in his room.
16:30. He should have been here an hour and a half ago.
This is right, Frank, and listen appointment. Let's go over to the Space Hotel and check on him.
A few moments later, Buzz and Happy are examining Frank Michelson's room.
He sure didn't leave anything here to indicate where he went or why.
Look here on the floor by the desk.
Somebody knocked a book off. And some papers.
Michelson is very neat. He doesn't like him to leave things lying around like this. Let me look through this desk. Perhaps we can find letters and notes that will indicate who Michelson has been dealing with since he arrived on the Terra. No papers in here. Here's something, Happy.
A miniature recorder.
Michelson always carried one of these with him.
Well, how about listening to what's on it, sir?
This might be a good idea. I'll rewind a few feet on it. No.
Red Brinkerhoff, President, Interplanet Mining Company, Mercury City.
Michelson, voice.
Dear Ed, in view of recent developments, I suggest we postpone further action until I consult Commander Corey. I'll be on Mercury in about 5 days to explain fully the reasons for this suggested delay. Then,
Dictating a letter when someone interrupted him. Let's see if there's anything else in this tape. I'll run it ahead a little.
to any conclusions you like. Now, Dalamar, take your friend Parrish and get out. First, you're going to tell us where this uranium deposit is. It's none of your business.
Oh, uranium.
Don't force us to get rough, Michael. Try anything in here. We don't object to you coming with us. Let's go!
Michelson did have trouble, all right. He had presence of mind to put on this recorder and leave it in the drawer.
Is that all there is in the tape?
We'll find out. Listen.
What are you going to do with me, Dalamar? You'll accompany Parrish and me to Tarazan, the Venus Junction. I have a hunch that uranium deposits aren't too far away. Passed through Tarazan a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we can work on you there without any interruptions. Nobody will ever come prowling around that old warehouse at the end of Meridian Street.
I guess that's all.
This will be a cinch, Commander. All we have to do is notify Venus City Space Patrol to go to Tarazan.
Zalabar and Parrish might be tipped off. We'll handle this one ourselves, undercover.
Tarazan, the settlement in the heart of a Venus jungle, owed its existence to one thing, the rare Picachero plant. The fibers of this plant, dried and processed in a certain way, could be woven into a beautiful, shimmering fabric that brought high prices in exclusive shops on all the planet. Then chemists discovered a way to make synthetic Picachero fibers for a fraction of the cost. The demand for real Picachero fabric declined, and with it, the bustling activity of the jungle settlement of Tarazan. Now, visitors to Tarazan are few, but the remaining inhabitants are too lacking in vitality or curiosity to pay any attention to new arrivals. At this moment, a surface car stops in front of a bleak warehouse at the end of Meridian Street, and two men get out, pulling a third man between them.
All right, Michelson. Here's your new home. I've had enough of this being shoved around, Dalamar. Keep your hands off me.
Well, apparently the effects of the talk is all wearing off. Parrish, you'll watch our guest carefully. Okay. Come on, Michelson.
Door isn't locked. Go on in.
Phew. This place sure reeks.
Yes, that's the Picachero. There's several bales here in the warehouse.
Isn't that dangerous? I thought raw Picachero gave off poisonous fumes unless it was treated.
It does, but don't worry. There's enough ventilation here to keep it from bothering us.
What do we do with Michelson?
Take him upstairs and lock him in a room. We'll go to work on him later.
Why waste time? Let's make him talk now so we can get out of this place.
I've a couple of errands to run uptown. All right, Michelson, get up the stairs.
Two hours later, a private space cruiser lands at the small, run-down spaceport at Tarazan, and two men in civilian clothes get out. Casually, they wander around the sleepy town, apparently two visitors on an aimless stroll. Eventually, they reach Meridian Street and continue down past a row of abandoned warehouses.
Gee, Commander, this town is really dead.
You should have seen it 5 years ago when the Picachero market was at its height. A regular boom town then. Oh, that must be the warehouse we're looking for.
Is the surface car in front of us?
Yes. Don't call your ray gun until we get inside. I'll find it here.
Nobody inside. Commander, it sounded like it came from up above.
Got here just in time. Up the stairs. Quiet. Now, Michelson, you're not going to get anywhere by being stubborn. Where's that Tulania? I said, where is it? Pretty brave, aren't you, John? Hitting a man with his hands tied. You can spare yourself a lot of pain by telling me where that Tulania ore is. Michelson, suppose I should offer you a share of the profits from the Tulanium in exchange for your pledge to keep your mouth shut.
Like you offer me a share of what's already mine.
All right, Michelson, I'll get it out of you.
Salabar, lay off.
What do you want, Parrish?
Somebody's downstairs.
What?
Who? I don't know. There are two of them.
I'll just see that Michelson doesn't give any warning. Oh! All right, come on, Parrish.
Get them in the stairs. What do we do, Russian?
Oh, they might be on. I won't be able to see us until they get to the first landing. We'll sweep down to that big barrel at the head of the stairs.
I got you.
We'll come around the corner. We'll push the barrel down on it. Oh, they've seen us.
Get your hands up. We're space patrolmen.
Come and get us.
Come on, Hap. All right. The barrel.
Commander! Commander, look out!
That took care of both of them.
Okay. Go get Michelson. Bring him out here. I'll go down and get their weapons.
All right, Michelson, come on, up on your feet. We got something to show you. Move lively.
Here he is, boss. All right, take a look at these men, Michelson. You know them? Never saw them before. And you never will again. I recognize them. He's Space Patrolman. Commander Corey and his cadet. Harris, let's finish them off before they come to.
Wait, you can't do that.
Can't I? Who's to stop us?
Well, listen, give him a chance. I'll tell you where the Tulania is. I'll make a deal. Just give him a chance.
Oh. All right, Michelson. Where's the Tulania? 500 miles up the Ramada River, just south of Lake Circus. That's the key. Good. We'll take you up there in our ship. Can you let these men go? Oh, no, I can't reach that. Parrish, drag them to storage bin number 3 and lock them in with those old bales of Picatello.
No, you can't do that. Those rooms are deadly quick.
Yes, I know. In that sealed room, they can't survive more than 20 minutes.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Wow, the big game. Only 5 seconds left. But look at that center move, that basketball. Now he jumps. He shoots. It's good. His team wins. More power to him. And more power to you. Power to think fast. Power to act fast. And, gang, you'll get it from a good breakfast with that swell-tasting whole wheat power cereal, Good Hot Ralston, Instant Ralston, or regular Ralston. More power because Hot Ralston gives you all the power of whole wheat and twice as much power from the heart of the wheat. That's why a good breakfast with Good Hot Ralston means extra protein for powerful muscles, extra vitamins for sturdy growth and steady nerves. And, gang, Hot Ralston is the only cereal that gives you so much power, yet tastes so good. So join the power team. Get Good Hot Ralston, instant or regular, right away today at your grocer's. And tomorrow morning, more power to you from Good Hot Ralston. Look for the new Hot Ralston package with the picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the front and the free space coin inside. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, the Venus Tulania Mystery. In attempting to rescue Frank Michelson from a warehouse in a jungle settlement on Venus, Buzz and Happy were knocked unconscious by Zalabar and Parrish, 2 men attempting to learn the location of valuable Tulanium deposits. Michelson divulged the location of the rare mineral upon Zalabar's promise to spare the lives of the Space Patrolmen. But on learning the secret, Zalabar went back on his word and locked Buzz and Happy in a storage vault containing rotting bales of Picatello, knowing that the fumes are deadly. Zalabar and Parrish are now on their way toward the Aramaza River with Michelson to check the truth of this claim. Meantime, Buzz and Happy have regained consciousness in the stifling, fetid air of the storage bin.
Oh, my head. Wow.
Come on, Hap. We've got to break out of here.
Where are we, Jim?
Still in the warehouse. Locked us in the storage bin.
It's so dark, I can't see a thing.
Here's the door. Let's see if we can get it open.
My lungs. Smoking rockets. What's that odor?
Picatello. If it isn't cured properly right after it's cut, it produces poisonous fumes.
And this stuff is supposed to be valuable?
won't stand a chance of breaking down this door. We're getting weaker every second.
And the worst of it is nobody knows we're here.
Perhaps. Look up at the ceiling.
It's a blur, Commander. My eyes burn. All I can see is a dim blue light.
The skylight. If we can get up there, we could break out onto the roof.
Yeah, but how do we get out?
We climb up the bales. Stack it nearly to the ceiling.
If I can make it. We're getting weak.
We've got to make it. What was that?
Something. A piece of metal. Oh, it's a bar with a hook on the end.
Back around one of these bales. We can use it to break the skylight. Start climbing, Hap. Come on, Hap. Here, I'll give you a hand. That's it. Hold on. I think I can reach the skylight from here. Now, come on, Hap. Out through the skylight.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Careful, don't cut yourself.
Oh, fresh air sure feels good.
Now, if we can get down off the roof.
I'm still dizzy from those fumes, Commander.
Watch your step when you get near the edge. Here's the ladder. Don't try it till you're sure of your grip.
I'll be okay in a minute, sir.
Look down there. The surface car's gone.
Yeah. By now, Zalabar's probably blasted off.
I hope Michelson's all right. We'll go right to the spaceport and see if we can find anybody that knows which way Zalabar headed.
High above the lush jungle of Venus, a spaceship heads westward. Zalabar watches the terrain through a viewscope, while Parrish scans the chart.
We ought to be over the Aramazo River pretty quick.
And then we turn north, is that right?
Yeah. Follow the river to Lake Crystal. If Michelson's telling the truth.
Well, if he isn't, we'll get it out of him somehow. Speaking of Michelson, are you sure he's tied up tightly back out?
Yeah. He won't give us any trouble.
If we don't find that Tulania, we'll give him plenty of trouble.
That's for sure.
Meanwhile, back in the jungle settlement of Karazhan, Buzz and Happy sit in the littered office of the portmaster.
What's keeping that portmaster? Sure, they couldn't take him this long to go out to the repair shop and find a mechanic.
Maybe they both went fishing.
We'd only get one clue in the direction Zalabar's ship.
Commander, a word keeps coming back to me. I think I heard it while we were lying on the floor of the warehouse.
What is the word, huh?
It was an odd-sounding one. Ara something or other. Aramona?
Aramazo?
Yeah, that's it. Does it mean anything?
There's an Aramazo River some distance west of here. Do you remember anything else?
Oh, no, sir. And the voices were all mixed up. But this one word seemed to stand out.
I could turn up that space.
Yes, sir.
Former Space Patrol Agent Frank Michael.
Frank?
Commander Corey's in danger. He's locked in a warehouse at the end of Meridian Street in Karazhan. Hurry. Corey's in storage bin 3. Don't try to contact me. I'm held aboard a private cruiser now heading toward Aramazo River.
You're right, Hap.
I'm still alive. That's something.
Exact position unknown. The men holding me, Jake Dalabar and Griff Parrish. They're taking me up the Aramazo to a point just south of Lake Crystal. They're armed and dangerous. This is Frank Michael. Help Corey first.
He's cut off.
I don't know where he's going.
Right. Get to the ship. We'll blast off for the Aramazo. Michael, you asleep?
Oh.
Wake up!
What do you want?
I just want to check something. Hands still tied. I'll make sure. It's the cabin. Don't you wish you'd known about this being in here? Spaceophone. I'll just take it with me so you won't be tempted. We'll be landing pretty quick. And we'll see if you were telling the truth about the Tulania.
Following the course of the Aramazo River, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy fly high above the surface of Venus. The thick mist shrouds the jungle from sight, but the penetrating rays of the infrared viewscope show the terrain in sharp detail.
Gee, sir, not another word from Michelson. I hope it doesn't mean Zalabar or Parrish caught him using the spaceophone.
The weak signal. Atmospheric conditions could account for his fading out.
I hope that's it.
You were the only ones that heard him. According to my last check, the Space Patrol Venus City.
Commander, there's a ship down there, at the foot of one of those hills, right near the river. See it?
Yeah.
Why would they land there?
They must have forced Michelson to tell where the Tulanian deposit is. That means we've got to work fast.
Michelson's really in danger now.
Right, but we can't risk tipping them off. We'll land on the other side of the hill and work around on foot.
Carrying ore testing equipment, Zalabar and Parrish force Michelson ahead of them up the steep slope of the hill.
Go on, Michelson. Keep moving. You're supposed to be the hardy outdoor type, you know.
Ever try climbing a hill with your hands tied behind you?
You're lucky we aren't making you carry some of the equipment.
Save your breath. Keep moving.
There's a storm coming up. How much farther is it, Michelson?
We're now crossing the border. A few hundred yards farther on. This had better not be a stall. I told you there was Tulanian here, didn't I?
Galabar, listen.
What? What is it?
I thought I heard a roar like spaceship rockets.
Just distant thunder. Keep moving.
Start working our way up the slope, Happy. I want to be above them when we contact them. Yes, sir. Somewhere the other side of that ridge.
You think they heard our rockets when we landed?
I hope not. That storm may have helped us.
I'd like to get this job over with before that storm hits us.
Listen, Michelson, are you sure you know what you're doing?
This trip was your idea.
Don't get cute. You're just making it tougher for yourself.
Okay, try some of these rocks.
Please, get the equipment. Aren't you going to help? We're going to be fighting the storm pretty quick.
All right, I'll give you a hand. All you'll need is the electrospectroscopic analyzer. If you know anything at all about it, you'll recognize Tulania. We know enough about it to tell if you're pulling a fast one, Michelson.
Here, how about this chunk of rock?
It's too big.
Who's asking you?
It is too big, Parrish. Here, this is more like it. Put it in the test chamber. I have the dial set.
Okay. Turn on the power. It's high-test uranium.
Now you're satisfied? You believe now I was telling you the truth?
Yes, Michelson. Yes, there's no doubt about it. This land is rich in uranium.
We'll make a fortune.
Well, let's go back to the ship, huh?
Presently. First, there's something we must finish, you and I. Are you forgetting, Pat?
Oh. You want to do it here, huh?
Why not? Michelson will serve his purpose. You've decided against the partnership with Huntington. Yes. In view of a few things that have happened, your continued existence might prove embarrassing to me.
You're referring to what you did to Corey, for example.
Yes, but it's getting late. Parrish, your blast gun, please.
Sure. Here, boss.
Hold it, Zalabar.
Take care of Parrish, Happy.
Yes, sir. All right, Zalabar, had enough?
Yes. Yes, Corey. Parrish, how about you?
Apparently, Mr. Parrish isn't speaking to us. Are you okay, Frank? Yeah, fine, thanks.
That seems like old times to see you charging into the rescue, Bud.
Just returning past favors, huh? Happen I heard your spacephone signal after we broke out of the warehouse.
Oh, so you got out by yourself, huh?
I might have known it. Happy, untie Mr. Michelson, then we'll take our prisoners to the ship.
Yes, sir. I'll have you loose in a moment, Mr. Michelson.
You know, for a while there, I was afraid I was in for it. Listen to that thunder. If you'd have been a few minutes later, I'd have been drenched to the skin. An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
Hi, gang. This is Captain Dick Tufeld. I'd like to tell you about a space patroller I know. Every morning when he sits down to his breakfast, and you can bet there's always a bowl of good hot Ralston there, he starts thinking about what he's going to do when he's a big guy. One day, he'd like to be a jet pilot and fly a plane faster than the speed of sound. Or be an All-American, the hero of the nation. But one thing for sure, my Space Patrol pal is on his way and ready for anything that comes. Because every morning he eats a good breakfast with a hot whole wheat power cereal, good hot Ralston, instant or regular. Yes, sir, he's packing in vitamins and minerals, too, and delicious. Every spoonful tastes better than the one before. Each bowlful tastes like more. And no other cereal gives you so much power, yet tastes so good. So, Space Patrollers, get some today. Good hot Ralston, instant or regular. Look for the new hot Ralston packages with the picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside and with the swell interplanetary space coin on the inside. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have reached the end of an underground passage on the planet Mercury. Through their portable spacephones, they hear Major Robertson up on the surface.
Commander, how about coming back up to the ship? I've got a strange feeling about this whole layout.
You might as well, Robbie. We can't go any farther. Come on, Happy.
Yes, sir. Hey, Commander, there's a gate sliding shut.
It's sealed in here. A stone gate cut us off.
This
The rockets, Commander. Where's that noise coming? Commander? Commander, where are you?
What's the matter, Hap?
Major, the commander was right here beside me, and now he's vanished.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Lost Dimension, when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Lawrence Dobkin, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol!
This is Captain Dick Tufeld reporting on something new, something sensational in every new package of Rice Checks and Wheat Checks. Listen, Commander Corey is now putting a wonderful new Space Patrol trading card inside every new package of Rice Checks and Wheat Checks. And I mean the most exciting trading cards you ever saw. Trading cards with space pictures in full color. Trading cards that gleam and glisten. Trading cards that are good and stiff, just right for flipping. Trading cards that are full size, more than 3 inches long, more than 2 inches wide, with an exciting story of the picture on the back of each one. Now, right now, the trading cards are all about rockets and jets and weapons. But that's just series number 1. Series number 2 and number 3 will follow soon. There'll be exciting pictures of space heroes, stars, and planets. Altogether, there are 40 different exciting Space Patrol trading cards. Now, gang, think of what a terrific collection they'll make. Think of the fun you'll have trading them, flipping them, and learning amazing facts about outer space. So start collecting your official Space Patrol trading cards today. Look for the packages of Rice Checks and Wheat Checks that tell you on the outside there's a full-color, full-size Space Patrol trading card inside. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast for our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.